Hey, to all my Japanese students on YouTube. You thought I forgot about you because of all the beer I've been drinking, huh? Oh no, that's not the case. I actually been feeling kind of bad that I've been focusing too much on beer. But this time, I think it's important to focus a little bit on education, right? Because knowledge is power! So, I think that was from Family Guy. Anyways, this lesson, I'm going to be teaching you about what to say when you're at the dinner table or eating food, and also some etiquette as well. And this suggestion is from Crimsonigloo. You could just check her vlog. I'll put it right there. But yeah, she asked. She's confused about what to say and how to say something when you're at the table. So some of the most standard thing that you would hear on Japanese anime, and also if you read up on it or live in Japan, the typical thing that people will say right before eating a meal is "itadakimasu." Now let me say that slow. "Itadakimasu." Or you could say "itadakimasu." But most people, like I said in my previous lessons, not many people end masu like masu. They say mas. So "itadakimasu." Or how my dad and maybe some other gaijins would say is they'll say "eat a duck or a mouse." But don't say that, okay? Don't say "eat a duck or a mouse," because y'all are just gonna sound like a bunch of gaijins being like, "eat a duck or a mouse." "Itadakimasu" means I will partake. That's what it literally translates to. I'll partake the food. But obviously, due to translation, it sounds kind of weird in English. Afterwards, after you're finished, everyone says "gochitsou-sama." Okay, you got that? "Gochitsou-sama." Yeah, that's pretty fast. I know I'm saying it. Let me break it down. "Gochitsou-sama." "Gochitsou" is another way of saying a meal. And "sama," it's something typically used at the end of someone's name if you're saying it to referring to them out of immense respect, like Yuichiro-sama, like Yuichi-sama, Yuichi-tuba-sama. You could call me that if you want. But "gochitsou-sama" is just been a standard thing to say after you finished a meal. Now before we start, let me start off with the names of the utensils that you will be using. So here we have the standard chopsticks, as what we call in English. But in Japanese, we call them hashi. Okay, when you say hashi, you want to have the accent in the front. Not hashi, but hashi. And then the next one that you'll also see if you're to have curry in Japan, kare in Japanese. Kare is very popular in Japan, believe it or not. But the curry, or kare, in Japan is much sweeter than Indian curry. Very, very minimal spice. I would say it's not even prevalent. But yeah, you'll see curry eaten a lot in the summertime in Japan. They like eating hot stuff during the summer, so they sweat and all that. So you'll see the spoon. Now, how we call spoon in Japanese is spoon. We just basically use the English word. And the fork, how you say this in Japanese is forku. It's pretty straightforward. You don't say forku, but forku. Hear that? It's longer. So if you like to hand someone a fork, you just say forku you. No, I'm just playing. Don't say that. So there are the utensils. As far as let's say plates, cups, glasses. Usually cup, you could say kappu or koppu, because you either use the ka or the ko. I think either one's fine. Now plates, we use Japanese words for that. For plate, we say osara. Okay, got that? Osara. Osara. Okay, that osara is very flat. So we got cup, glass. Rice bowls. Very important to know. Rice bowl I don't have it with me right now, but a rice bowl, you call them ochawang. It's much longer. You say o-cha-wang. So together it's ochawang. You have the bit of a bump in the middle there. Ochawang. Now, tea, how we say in Japanese, is very somewhat similar to Chinese. Is ocha. So sometimes they may ask you if you like to have tea at the end, or maybe even the beginning of the meal. So they'll ask, ocha hoshii desu ka? So, ocha, or they could say ocha hoshii desu ka, or especially if it's more formal, they'll say ocha wa ikaga, ocha wa ikaga desu ka? If you go to a restaurant, they may give you a list. They'll ask for if you like to have ocha or mizu, which is water. And juice, we use English as juice. In Japan, at least with noodles. Now some of you may have experience with this. With noodles, it's totally okay to slurp. So some of you may be surprised. Maybe even soup too. You may hear people slurping soup, especially miso soup. So if you're to go to a ramen place or ramen place for ramen noodles, ramen, okay, it's la. It's not quite the R, it's ramen. If you're to go to a ramen place, you'll be hearing slurping everywhere, okay? So just understand that that's what you will be expecting if you're to go to Japanese ramen. The way that you ask someone to get something for you is blank o onegai shimasu. Okay? Blank o onegai shimasu. Okay, so you have the object, the possessive word or possessive sound for which is o. So something o, onegai is pleading or asking for, shimasu. This is just the formality at the end. So let's say if you would like to have the vegetables from across the table, you say yasai o onegai shimasu. Or if you would like to have the pepper, pepper is koshou. Koshou. Salt is shio. Shio. Now that you have that double o right there. Shio onegai shimasu. Now if you would like a drink, such as mizu, water, ocha, tea, or juice, juice, you don't have to have the possessive o in the middle. You could just say ocha onegai shimasu, or mizu onegai shimasu, or juice onegai shimasu. Now there will be certain walls that you'll run into when it comes to eating certain foods in Japan with Japanese utensils. First thing is the miso soup, which is the standard warm soy-based soup that most Japanese people eat, and there's usually tofu and some seaweed inside. Now, you're like, okay, they don't have spoons, and they have a mostly liquid-based food. How am I supposed to eat that? Well, going back to the ramen noodles, there's the whole slurping thing. Well, we also do that with a miso soup too, and most people now they have spoons and all that if that's necessary. But I would say most Japanese people, they'll use hashi just to scoop up some of the tofu, the seaweed, and then just pretty much slurp it. So just as an example, I have tea here in a American kind of jar. But so what they would do is they have the liquid, and they'll kind of do this thing. They'll go. Just like that. I'll just use whatever I got. I got a cereal bowl right here, so I'm just going to use this thing. What people do is they pick up the bowl, and when you hold on to it, you use your two fingers right here, just your fingers, and then you put your thumb up above like this, so you hold it like this, and then you just eat it like this. I think that's about it. If I could come up with something more, I'll post it in a future video. And like I said in my previous video, if you have any questions or other things you would like me to teach you and to inform you about, not only the words but also the culture and how to act and how to bow and all that, just let me know and I'll make another lesson on that. Okay, thanks for watching, and also sign up for my Facebook fan page and sign up on my Twitter too, and we could keep connected, alright? じゃあね。